know how bad they've got it. Really.
Yeah.
Like, they see themselves as kind of this beacon of democracy. And to be fully honest, they're not really. And from what I know of, like, because you know how I am when it comes to politics and everything. And less said about that and how I like, oh, did you do it to get food, yeah. But going kind of on my basis, the Democrats are kind of like, say, the Republicans like 5-10 years ago. Yeah. Overall, like, sure, they have more liberal policies and stuff, but like, Joe Biden himself has been around as long as my granny's been around. Like, he's as old as my granny is. On my dad's side, obviously.
Yeah.
Because I was just because I was bored and I was looking through and I was looking at
He's 81, I think.
No, he's 70.
He's going to be 81 once he leaves office, I think.
He'll be 8.
4 years.
He's 74. He's 78 now, and he was born in 42.
He's 7 years older than Trump.
Yeah, I think so, actually.
And
yeah.
he's serving office after him, so he's the oldest president.
Yeah, that's one thing they mentioned. Love it when the last
Democrat. We won't elect a white old man into office. Us Democrats elect the whitest oldest man into office. It's just funny.
I know some stuff about Biden, but I don't really know too much.
He likes to change his opinion a lot, especially if the party does so too. Anything the party says, he just says too. He's literally
he's literally just a party kind of guy.
Yeah.
I know he's more like. In my own opinion, he's not. He wouldn't be my choice. He's just kind of
mild.
He's a moderate kind of conservative with. He's not even a conservative. Like, he's a Democrat conservative, so it's like a moderate centrist. And do you want to know something I do know? I don't know if you understand this or if you will, but back before you know the way the Democrats used to be what the Republicans were.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they switched during World War II, and the Democrats became more liberal. But even then,
I think they switched in the 60s.
Yeah, fully. They
Lyndon B. Johnson. I think Lyndon B. Johnson is the exact guy who switched the parties.
Yeah, I think it was
a very controversial quote from him that said, "I'll make N-words vote Democrat for the next 100 years."
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's.
And he succeeded.
Yeah, but also, I think when it fully came into swing, it's actually during Nixon's, when Nixon ran in late. And
then with the Reagan, you could see all the
Reagan was overall really popular.
Yeah.
I think
he won most states, I think.
Yeah, he won. Do you want? I'll check it now.
Didn't he win every state except of one, actually? Now that
he lost. He bet. I'm thinking of Barry Goldwater, but it's not him. It's
some other irrelevant dude that only won 5 states or something like that. You know what, homie? I don't like you.
I think it was.
Goodbye. He's gone. Never to be seen again. Let's go, Coco. Cocaina. By the way, you're on top of a tree.
Yeah. Reagan a bit of a decisive kind of... Definitely a very interesting guy, to be honest. He didn't He died in 2007, I think.
Yeah, pretty recently.
Well, no, it isn't actually recent, because it's nearly 10 years ago, but
I
like...
guess so.
No, it's not. It's nearly 20 years.
13.
Yeah, 13. Yeah, he was died... He had Alzheimer's.
Cocoa beans.
And he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's literally 1 year after his presidency. And he didn't disclose it publicly till 94, which absolute chad. For a man who got shot, then to get Alzheimer's, then not to die till 2007. I think, if I'm gonna say anything honest, I think he's probably been one of the better, like one of U.S. One of the better U.S. presidents overall.
That's what most people actually think.
Like I don't, because overall, if a president, even if he's in opposition, if he can work with you well enough, no matter what policy he believes in, if he's a good president, you know he's a good president, and that's what Reagan was. Like, I may not agree with everything Reagan did, or some people may not, but he definitely was probably, I'd almost even say, one of the US's last...
He committed suicide and he left his llamas.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hey, look, he left the... Oh, yeah.
Let's go, we have our private llamas.
Here.
Oh, no. This was a mistake.
Get up. Here, take one.
Let's go. You are mine now. My llama. My yama. Let's go.
Oh, it's decided to jump off.
It preferred death rather than serving you.
I'm just gonna slowly drag it over. Just got this thing like bobbing below, hitting its head off.
Oh yeah.
Can you make a fence?
Fence.
Or something like an...
Offensive. Here. Fence.
Just put it down. Yeah. I don't know.
He's still there.
Yeah.
So I guess there's that.
Actually, do you want to know something very funny? Have you ever heard of the Iran-Contra scandal?
The what?
The Iran-Contra scandal. It's the US was selling arms to Iran.
Yeah.
And then they would provide money, and the US would funnel money and arms to the Contras in South America. Okay, this is recent. Okay, this is actually really kind of funny. But the guy who would take the fall for that actually recently came out and said the NRA was doing all this kind of corrupt stuff with fudging like numbers and stuff. You remember that? And what's it? New York tried to get rid of them. Well,
Oh yeah.
yeah, the guy who got in trouble for the Iran-Contra scandal, who got in trouble for that, would later come out and expose the NRA for cheating its taxes and stuff, or using funds inappropriately. I think it was what it's called, which is really funny. I think it's James North or Oliver North. That's his name, if I remember correctly. Oliver North.
Oh, don't die.
He's the guy who got trouble, and he comes out and pretty much tells everyone, yeah, these guys just did that. And I'm like, nice, very cool, which is a bit funny. But,
no, don't.
yeah, Reagan, I would almost say, is probably one of the best US president in recent history. Like, obviously... I know Obama was pretty good, but, like...
Obama.
I guess you could say, give him the credit. He did bring him out of the U.S. recession, 2008, 2009, whatever they're going to call that. I just call it the big oof of 2008 to 2009. Tell you one thing. We're coming out... I love the way we're coming out of school and we're literally coming into an economic crisis. Isn't it fun?
Yes.
I'll tell you one thing. I pity the people who are coming out of college this year, or even the people who don't go into college this year, who have to just go... Yeah, they're kind of effed.
Cook.
But... Oh. It's a bit... I would say, overall, he's probably been the best president out of all of them. But...
Yeah.
Clinton wasn't bad. Bush was completely, like, really bad. Just how do you go from being one of the most popular presidents to being the lowest rated president at the end of your term? Like,
It's called the war in Afghanistan.
it wasn't even just Afghanistan. It was... He started 2 wars.
Oh yeah.
Iraq and Afghanistan. And he
yeah,
made a
Iraq too.
balls of... Yeah.
Masterclass.
Why do you think... What... Like, it just baffles the mind, like... It's like... Because before, like... Going on based of his father's history, because... His father only died, like, 2 or 3 years ago, didn't he? And
Yeah.
his dad is an absolute baller.
I think he died in 2017, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
'Cause Trump was at it.
Yeah, he was at it. Actually, yeah.
Thinking about Trump, he didn't declare any wars. He was actually a fairly peaceful president.
Well, neither
Ironically.
did Obama. Yeah.
I mean, Syria. He didn't
Syria-
declare it, but he was involved heavily in it.
Yeah, but so is Trump then, technically.
Yeah, but he was like pulling out troops out of Syria with every year.
I will say
Obama's reign was only putting in more and more every year, so.
well, yeah, that's kind of during like ISIS. That's like when ISIS started getting big. Pretty much, Obama came in, had to deal with an unpopular war in both. Like, it wasn't even that. It was more like a Vietnam kind of deal in both Afghanistan and Iraq. And by that time, I think kind of Iraq had quieted down for the most part. But then during 2011, that's kind of where it all kicked off in the Middle East. Because that's when the Arab Spring happens, and you got... Who's dying?
Bombing the children. That's me starving slowly. Where's the other piece of wood?
Where are you?
Up in the tree.
Oh, if you want to jump down, I've only got one
No,
piece of
it's
raw
hard.
flesh. Oh no, there's a bunch in the chest here. There's 9 in the chest. But yeah, his father only died a few years ago. Because I know Trump was at it. Because I just know that. Oof.
36 wood.
I picked some of the stuff up. I picked up your axe and some of the wood. Yeah, he died only like 2017, 2018, I think.
Yeah.
But his father, George Bush Sr., was a complete baller. He fought in World War II. I think he was a fighter pilot during World War II. And I think he flew a damaged airplane all the way back to the aircraft carrier that he was based at, crash landed it into the sea right next to it or something like that. He would later go on to serve in the CIA as head of the CIA. And he kind of like, unlike his son, he knew actually what the hell he was doing when it came to foreign matters. But I guess that kind of is the benefit when you work for the CIA.
Yeah.
Because unlike George Bush Jr., Senior knew, like, you can't just go in there, roll in there, and be like, yo, Saddam, you're out. Get out of here. It's not how it works. You need it to be an internal. Or you need the people to welcome you openly, in a sense.
Yeah.
And that's what I think, looking at it, is what Bush did wrong.
Yeah.
And you want to know something else, actually? Talking on the subject of Bush Jr. and his failings as president. Obviously, this, like, 2001 is kind of like... He's on... It's his first year. But... do you know the way... After... I'm going to take it back to just after the Soviet invasion, okay?
Yeah.
So you got the Mujahideen, okay? They're like the main... For me. That's my throat being dead as hell. But you go back to, like, the Mujahideen. And before they became...
Oh, my
Actually, we can make wool. Make sure to keep the spider on, because we can keep a string.
Yeah.
I got 2 string. We only need 1 bed right now, but if we can get 2 string.
One wall.
We can make 1 wool right now. That's it. But yeah, they then eventually divided into 2 factions, and you got Al Qaeda, who were the leaders. I think was it the Al Qaeda or was it the Taliban? I can't remember the names. They're kind of the similar. Not the one led by just to state that, it's not the one that was led by Osama bin Laden. But
So the Taliban. Al Qaeda was
yeah.
Osama's one.
Yeah.
Mr. Arsenal fan.
Yeah, he was an Arsenal fan, which is very funny.
You know what's the funny part? He used to play Counter-Strike
Huh.
when he was like locked down in his house, like hiding away. He had like the connection set up to the internet. He used to play Counter-Strike.
Me and the boys be like playing. Me and Osama bin Laden be playing Counter-Strike.
Terrorist.
God damn it! I'm gonna blow up George Bush's tower again. But yeah, pretty much, even before 9/11, because the U.S., the leader, the guy who, what the hell was that? Oh, like a witch or something just fell out of the sky. Yeah, they were pretty much, Afghanistan was pretty divided even after, and there was a civil war in Afghanistan up till 2001, and a week before 9/11, the leader of the Northern Alliance, which is the group that was fighting in that civil war in Afghanistan, and would later come to power after the U.S. invasion. Their leader was killed like a week before 9/11. And it's, from what I've heard, most people say that if this guy had died, Al Qaeda and all those would have been like the
berries.
They would have been. Oh, did they eat the berries?
Yes.
It said that the Northern Alliance would have been in a better position. Because they said the figure, can't remember his name, but he was a much better leader than the guy. Because you know the guy who was in charge, that guy wearing the little funny hat became leader.
Oh yeah.
I don't even know. I think he's still the leader now, to be honest. And but